Hey y'all, welcome back to InDFlix, where we break down your favorite shows one twisted episode at a time. Today, we're diving into the next wave of secrets, lies, and flashbacks from We Were Liars, episodes 3 through 6. And trust me, things are getting messy on Beechwood Island. Let's get into it. Katie is fed up with secrets and decides to test her family by asking about her grandmother's funeral. But instead of honesty, she gets lies, and she knows it. Johnny says he kissed someone, but then Katie knows that that's not the truth. Gat gets furious that she set them up and the tension is real. Meanwhile, flashbacks to Summer 16 show just how deep the cracks are in the Sinclair family. The sisters are already fighting over Grandma Tipper's pearls. Johnny ends up brawling with Blake Beaumont, who just so happens to also be sexting Marian. The family is a mess, and it's only getting worse. Also, Katie snuck into Johnny's room and goes into his phone and finds footage of him in a violent school fight, which could have ended up really, really bad. And it just shows like how much his anger plays a large part and may have something to do with what happened that night in Summer 16. So I don't know. She gets caught by Johnny's mom. Johnny's mom sees the video. She's breaking down. Now Johnny's looking at her like, you doing too much. You in my business. You are unloading things that shouldn't be unloaded. And it's getting messy. This is something that they definitely wanted to keep under wraps. Now, Gat and Katie's relationship is kind of going back and forth. He's frustrated with her because she's doing all these tests with them and trying to figure out if they're being honest, which I can understand. But then he's also looking like, well, why are you putting us through all of this? We're just trying to protect you from your migraines, from your seizures. And Katie's not trying to hear that. She's trying to do whatever she can for her body so that her memory comes back. And that even involved her jumping off a cliff. And Gat and Johnny both diving back in after her to save her. So, I don't know. I feel like as much as she's trying to get out of them, she could be pushing herself away, just distancing and showing that she's not really that trustworthy. But, of course, feelings are there. Her and Gat make up, and it's kind of almost like feelings are starting to arise again between the two. We also had Ed and the grandfather having a conversation. He's basically asking permission to marry Carrie, who is Johnny's mom. And I don't know what I read between this. It was like mostly a no, because, he's fortunate. Like, they are all fortunate. Look at this island that they have or possess. And here's Ed, who he probably doesn't deem as qualified to marry his daughter. But her mother at the time agreed with it during the flashback. And, he let Johnny know too. And Johnny was excited. He was like, this is something Mom really wanted. And I want this for y'all. But then things shake up. So it's 4th of July, and Ed is planning to propose to Carrie, but she puts it at a stop. She's aware of what her son has done. Her father's aware of what her son has done. She doesn't think it's safe to also bring Ed into the family drama of all this. So she actually declines his proposal, and they somewhat separate or break up. And I understand that, like, you have a lot of baggage along with what your son has done. You spent all of your money to save him and pay people off to keep quiet. So it wouldn't be fair for Ed. And I don't even think she still disclosed to Ed what Johnny really did. So I think in a way she was protecting him from all of this mess. So Johnny and Gat, they're kind of, in a way, I guess, we could look at them as brothers. Not really, because Gat's uncle is Ed, who's marrying Johnny's mom. So I guess they would be like cousins. But anyway, they grew up together. They're best friends. And, they have their riffs throughout these episodes as well. But Gat just notices something's off with Johnny. And, he has a talk. He's trying to figure everything out with him, which leads into something scary. They realize that there's a storm and that Johnny's younger brother had went out on the boat because Johnny had promised to take him out on the boat. But the storm hit and Will was out there, and so Johnny and Gat got another family boat to go search for him. And in that moment, they located Will. Johnny jumped off the boat to save him, but in that, I don't know if he was just too tired or what. He told his brother to keep swimming towards Gat, and he was about to drown. And in that moment, I'm like, oh, he's done for. This is it. And mind you, this is the flashback still. This is looking back. But then Gat drops down and saves him. And even Gat realizes, like, yo, you did that on purpose. So I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that was Johnny's way of just like letting go? So all these problems that have arisen because of his actions of beating up one of the tennis players, is that his reasoning to drown and just give up? Do you think it's fair after all that his mother has done, to save him and save his reputation? Let me know in the comments. Let's get into these sisters, Bess, Penny, and Carrie. They're a hot mess. Like, they are fighting each other blow for blow over this inheritance, especially when they find out that their dad had changed his will. They are just doing the most and don't care who's getting caught in the crossfire. We have panic attacks. We're having affairs. Carrie's sobriety is like being tested, because she has this whole thing with her son and breaking up with Ed, and just the pressure. All of this pressure is all stemming from their dad. Like, they're all trying to appease him and make it seem like they're the best daughter or the best child. And with doing that, they're dismantling their own families. Like, they're annoyed. The kids are annoyed. And it shows. Like, Katie's constantly arguing with her mom about her memory issues. And, her lack of assistance with it. They're fighting over the freaking pearls that their mother loved and was supposed to be buried with. Like, it's just a lot. Bess, we find out she's actually broke because her husband has been stealing the money, and I guess gambling it off. It's just everybody trying to manipulate. They're trying to manipulate their dad for more money, and it sucks. So I don't know. I definitely don't think the moms have anything to do with what happened to Katie, because this is what the show is about. We're trying to figure out what happened that night to her. But all this added stress and drama is definitely not happening, especially when Katie falls into a seizure and basically blacks out. It's just too much. Let's talk a little bit about Marian. So Marian is annoyed with her mother. She caught her mother having an affair, her mom's Bess. So she found out her mom's cheating on her dad, and then also finds out that they're actually broke as well. And that comes to light. They have a big, huge argument between each other, where Marian realizes, like, you never really wanted to be a mom, yet you have all these kids. I think she has 4 girls. So that kind of like spirals into Marian just doing whatever she wants. She's really into art, but her mom doesn't think that's a achievable future for her. But Marian, she's doing what every teenager does. You know, she's finally exploring someone else outside of the Beaumont guy. She's messing with Evan, who's basically like the boat taxi person. And she's having fun with that. And she gets a little tiff in with Katie because she feels like, you know, all the attention's on Katie. She's, you know, the role model and all that. But then when she finds out Katie actually told her mom about Bess's infidelity, which was used against her, now she looks at Katie kind of differently. She's upset with her. But they kind of work it out towards the end, especially after Will dang near almost drowned. So yeah, we'll keep watching Marian. I feel like her character is still developing. So we get another flashback of the lemon hunt. This is an annual lemon hunt, but this time Harris pits the family against each other with high stake rewards. If you win the hunt by collecting the most lemons, you win the house. And then if you win the lime, you win the island. So this just turns everyone in an uproar battle. They definitely want to inherit this property. I mean, the property's gorgeous. And it's a win-win regardless. If you win the Boston house, that's a huge house, you know, or if you win the full island, it's island ownership. So there's tensions between the cousins. The adults intensify throughout. Gat's mother is also in town, so she's participating, but she's also looking at, you know, these rich white people and just like, what is like, I don't want my son around all this. She wants to make sure he's staying his true self, and that, you know, all this material things really don't mean nothing. It gets crazy. It gets wild. There's a lot of arguments. The cousins or the liars finally realize, like, yo, Harris is trying to forge a war. Like, he wants us to fight against each other. And they actually come together. And with that, they sat down at the table to go over the winnings. And Gat, they gave all their lemons to Gat. And Gat also found the lime because he was watching Harris. So if we were following Harris's rule, Gat would have the house and the full island. But of course, Harris was not going to give that to him. So he said, you know, the game, it's over. You're not getting that. But he offers him an opportunity of a scholarship. But he would have to leave the island. And I feel like that was just his way of trying to get Gat to distance himself from Katie, whatever, which isn't fair. And he didn't fall for it, even though Katie, whatever, pushed him to like, yo, just go, it's good. He has feelings for this girl. So as much as Harris is trying to, I don't know why Harris is pitting the family against each other. Like, I just don't understand why. Hopefully that gets shown soon. I don't know if it's just how he's hurting because he lost his wife. He lost one of his daughters. So I don't know, but everyone just, they need to realize what's going on. Like, yes, he has the money, but y'all are literally just doing anything and everything to appease this one man. So yeah, if you thought the Sinclairs couldn't get more toxic, think again. Between the inheritance battles, the hidden affairs, Kay's unraveling memory, this show is heating up fast. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss my recaps of the final 2 episodes. It's all leading up to that big reveal. Drop a comment with your theories. Do you trust any of the liars, or is this whole family one gaslight away from disaster? Thanks for watching InDFlix. I'll see you guys on the next one.